Hello and welcome back to Emily Cat 176. How are we? I hope you've had a good week because it's Friday again already. Yes, we're well into June. The year is just flying, isn't it? So, on Friday, I talk about books. And the book I'm going to talk about today, this series, because it's the first book in a series, was actually recommended to me. Someone recommended this series to me, I should say. It's better English, isn't it? And the person who told me about it had been listening to these audiobooks through BorrowBox. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, BorrowBox is something in Australia that's connected to libraries. So if you join as a library member, which it's all free because these are government run libraries, and once you have a member number you can log on to BorrowBox. There's BorrowBox and Libby, and you can borrow ebooks, audiobooks. I think I read Rebecca, or listened to Rebecca on Libby. It's called Date with Death. I got through BorrowBox, and as I said, it is the first book in the Dale's Detective series. Now these books, there's 10 so far in the series. They all start with Date With. It's Date With something else. But the first one I'm reading, Date With Death. Samson is he's left his hometown under a cloud. He's gone to London. He's a detective, and something's happened there, and he's gone back to the town to get away from something that's in London. And while he's there, he decides to start a detective agency, and he rents from an old school friend. I think her name's Delia. I think that's what her name is. She has all these businesses and they're not doing well. And one of them is a dating agency. And as part of this dating agency, she puts on speed dating nights. So this is the premise. Samson has come back to the town. He's not made very welcome to begin with. But what's happening is people who've been, I should say men who have been at the speed dating nights, 2 or 3 of them have been found dead. And to begin with, they just think it's something they've done to themselves or an accident. And I think I'm up to about chapter 15 now, and Samson has discovered that one of them, it wasn't an accident. This person had actually been killed. And then, I'll call her Dahlia. It might be Delilah. Dahlia, I think her name is. She hires Samson to find out who's doing this, because she's getting very worried every time she puts on a speed dating night that one of the participants is going to be knocked off. So I would call this cozy crime. It's quite an easy listen. Good narrator. I will finish it, and I might continue on with this series. I think this series is very popular in England. The Dales they talk about are the Yorkshire Dales. And Julia Chapman, the author of these books, Julia Chapman is actually an alias for Julia Stagg. And Julia Stagg, she wrote another series before this Dales series, because she lived for quite a few years in France, near the French Pyrenees. and she was writing the Fogus Chronicles. These are the books that are set in France, and there's 5 books in that. And the thing apparently with the French books, they weren't popular at all until the Dales series came out. That's what I got told. The person who told me about this book, she's lived in Australia for a lot of years, but she's English born, and she went over to Europe, and on the way back she visited her sister who still lives in England, and her sister was telling her that this Julia Chapman had come and spoken to a group who, I don't know what group it was, but like an author's talk. And in that she was saying that she lived in France for all these years, and I think she lives back in England now, but the first series she'd written, this Fogus Chronicles, hadn't been popular at all. But once the Dales, what is it called? The Dales Detective series, once that started getting popular, people then went and read these Fogus Chronicles. Now, the Fogus Chronicles, I don't think they're crime, but I thought I might even have a look at that. Let me know if you know this author, if you have read the Detective Dales series, and if you have also read the Fogus Chronicles. Because, as I said, it's cozy crime, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just want to listen, So I'm on book 1. The person that told me about this, I think she's on about 4 or 5. So it sounds like BorrowBox has got quite a lot of the books in the series, which is always good, isn't it? I do think with a series it is good if you can read it in order. And I might be able to with this series. So that's what I am reading at the moment. As I said, I'm up to about chapter 15, 16. I will finish it, and then I might get the next one and see what that's like as well. So that's it for Friday. I am seeing a show on the weekend. I've actually bought the ticket before I put it in my diary. So there you go. I'm seeing a show. Considering what I've been doing this year. I hope you all have a good weekend. And again, I would ask anyone who's watching these, if they like them, please subscribe, because I am trying to build the channel. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back on Monday. Bye.